Seun, welcome back to Afropop.
Yeah, hello.
Why don't you introduce yourself?
My name is Seun Anikulapo Kuti, and Afrobeat musician here in New York, watching the Fela on Broadway. I've seen it twice now already. It's a great show. You know, it's Broadway, so everything is a bit dramatized, you know. But yeah, the story is what's most important, and I think a very important part of what my father stood for was portrayed at the play. His spirituality, his fight, his struggles. You know, for me, I went to the show and I was really impressed. You know, you don't expect it to be exactly how it is. It's a play. That's exactly what I meant by the drama. Extra drama was put in it, and I appreciated that because it's extra effort trying to make it beautiful.
I am Fela Anikulapo Kuti, he who carries death in his pouch.
But in Nigeria, a lot of people, you know, try to impersonate, dress like him, and come on stage and do things every time we are holding an event or something. You know, trying to act and stuff. So it's interesting, but to see it on Broadway, you know, and Sahr is, you know, it's a funny guy, you know, he's someone I know, and to see him acting and he changes, you know, he has the walk, the talk, you know.
We are happy that so many of you could make it out tonight, especially considering how dangerous this area is and how dangerous we are. Or so says Reuters and the Nigerian government. And if you are anything like me, you feel much more safe knowing that soldiers are there and those miserable fools are in uniform outside.
I was practicing with him some extra gestures, you know, so it was fun, you know, it was good. It's a good impersonation.
No little lies, come on.
Before he met Sandra, he was just every other African young man who didn't really read much into African history and just took conventional wisdom as the truth.
Hey, baby. Let's go to bed.
Hold on. You have a skewed sense of Marxist historical imperative.
What?
Fela, it's love and the struggle. We have to be strong. Black power will make us strong.
So back then in Africa, people used to think, you know, Africans were in the bush, you know, they didn't understand African history. But, you know, the African Americans here who didn't have a connection to home, the only thing they could hold on to was the history, and they knew the history of black people, which Sandra opened his eyes to and said, black people have been great before, which was something that was not taught back home. It's interesting that people know that. So it was Sandra that gave my dad that knowledge of being able to understand how great his people are, and to see that, you know, black people have done great things. It's not like we're just monkeys that white people came to train, like, you know, pet animals and brought us civilization. We were civilized before. The thing is, they just brought us their own kind of civilization. But it's incredible, we were really able to interpret it, you know, good interpretation, you know, because there was none of those cliche African dance steps when everything you see everybody's dancing in Africa, they have to do some weird hand throwing gestures, you know. This is not African dance, you know. So that's why I know Mr. Billy really did some research on how people in Africa really, you know, at least Afrobeat people danced and enjoyed themselves, you know. Because I was tired of watching movies, and in every movie we talk like this, and when we talk like this, we dance like that, and, you know, common misconceptions.
Fela. I've come all this way.
He has been able to use his influence to now take Fela to the next level. He has brought Fela to the New York that would probably have never ever found out about who he was. You know, I think this idea is an incredibly original idea that, you know, because, you know, things like this needs a revolutionary idea, an idea that's totally out of the box. And I think Fela on Broadway is totally, because Broadway, you know, this is bourgeois stuff. You know, Fela is not Broadway, you know. So I think this is genius thinking, you know, and totally genius, and you know, I wish I'd come up with it, you know. So I think with this step, you know, Steve has given Afrobeat an incredible push, you know, a push that cannot even be explained how great it is, you know.
Original, no artificiality. Your turn.
So I said, the producers, I said, if Fela was alive, we probably might not be able to do this play. You know, if he was alive, you probably might not get the permission to do a play like this. He will never agree for his music to be shortened while they are trying to do the play. So, okay, if you're going to do it while they're playing those Mozart songs at the other place for 4 hours, that's what you're going to do. You're going to play my song the way it's written every time. Because for Fela, you know, Afrobeat was not just music, it was like his baby, so he didn't want to give it away in any, you know, he didn't want it to be compromised, because he felt like if you want to take 10 minutes off, it's like cutting off his baby's leg, you know. For him, it was really personal. What is ultimate about this play is not what is in it or what is not in it. It is what people that are now open to Fela will live with. They will live with the fact that now they want to know about this man. They understand the struggle, and more people will be involved in the movement of the people. You understand what I'm saying? The success of the play for me is Fela's message being understood by more people that would never have had the chance to understand him if he wasn't brought to this place. And I think that will be what will impress Fela more, and me as well, that the people, not the famous people or reviewers, that the people, because they are, you know, people are still people. Here in America, there are people who also feel what some people in Africa are feeling. Maybe not as much as in Africa, but, you know, they could relate, and those people should hear the message too. And Fela has never been able to get on mainstream, and people have not found him out because he never got on the radio. It was impossible to have Fela on the radio. Only a very few amount of DJs ever braved it and, you know, wasted half of their show playing one track.
We did that.
Yeah. You know, so so I think definitely, but now Fela, there's a new way Fela has been publicized and advertised to the world, you know, not generally through the radio, but through pop culture, through word of mouth, shows like this, you know, just putting him in people's minds by events. And yes, Universal had done it for the last 10 years. They've been giving him massive publicity, and now it's being carried forward by the producers of this play and the Knitting Factory and, you know, all these people. So yeah.
I am Fela Anikulapo Kuti, he who carries death in his pouch, who no mortal can ever kill. And we are not going anywhere. We're going to stay right here. And we're going to be here tomorrow, the day after that, and the day after, and forever. Get it, 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 get it,